Hey everybody, I hope everybody's doing marvelous because I definitely am. I want to thank you for tuning in again to Ride with Rose. We've got some stuff to cover here today. It's getting juicier and juicier each time I think about this P. Diddy situation that's going on. It's getting deep. Well, today we're going to cover Jaguar Wright. Been in the business as a singer since about 1995 until the current day. She's worked with a few different artists from Jay-Z, Common, Jill Scott, and she's been doing her thing. She's made her way around the industry. And then we're going to touch base with Harvey Pierre. Yes, he's been running with P. Diddy for quite a few years, since about 1991 until 2017. Yeah, they're mixed up in a couple different things, lawsuits, allegations of sexual assault, etc., etc. But, he's called himself being a changed man. So he's got a few things that he wants to talk about and get off his chest. I guess he makes his own confessions, okay, per se. But I'd like to say, because they both have been in the industry for quite a few years, that they have some credibility. I mean, Harvey has worked with artists from P. Diddy to Notorious B.I.G., SWV, Tyrese, Method Man, Cassie, and the list goes on. So you know that he's been around and seen some things, and probably has, quite a few little secrets. So let's hear what they both have to say. Strap in and let's go for a ride. Okay, we're going to roll this first one for you right now.
You talking about the freak off session where they used to do in the studio and all of that over different entertainers' houses and stuff, where they be having them parties where they won't invite you to, and they be like, "We having a party tonight, but this ain't your kind of party." You be like, "Yeah, I ain't going. I don't want to go." Freak off parties when you go in there and it be, yo, let me tell you something. We used to go in the club. We go into the nightclub, right? And we go and get to the VIP. All of these girls come around the VIP and they just be standing there. And like, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna get back with you. We gotta rewind this back. We used to go to when we go to the club, we used to have these bottles, right? And on this bottle, they be regular Moet bottles. On them bottles right there, they've been to have something to make the girls be real slippery and all of this kind of stuff. So when you get up, they be like, don't touch them bottles right there and only drink them bottles right there. So we already knew what the drill was. You just don't mess with them bottles, right? Then all of the girls is in the club after a while. They all running, opening up their mouth like little birds. He's running around just popping pills in their mouth. Pop pill, 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 pill. And then that was the party. But all of the females that was in it, that's what they wanted. That was what party. It was part of the hip hop culture. We ain't see nothing wrong with it until Bill Cosby got in trouble. He did one too many.
Now, what did he have the audacity to say? They knew what the drill was? Wait a minute. They had a section of bottles that was, okay, it's cool to drink these, but don't drink these the one over here because they're laced. So we're going to lace everybody over here. We're going to lace all these young ladies and what little boys that want to be ridden. Wait a minute. I'm lost here for a second. Saying they didn't know that basically they didn't know they were doing nothing wrong until Bill Cosby got caught up. I mean, you're drugging people. They don't even know what they're taking. Now, the people that might have been dancing and you might have been popping pills in their mouth, yeah, they knew they were getting a pill popped in their mouth. That's one thing. Okay, that's what they want to do and they're down for. But we're going to get the girls all slippery by slipping them a little Mickey. I mean, come on, man. Wow. Ain't safe to go party with these fellas.
That and then freak off parties, man. Listen, I'm not an angel. I ain't never did nothing morally incorrect, but I definitely not. The girls definitely have my share of pretty women and being famous. It just came with the life, but also what came with it was a lesson. Also, what came with it was, you know what, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and still expect to find somebody to truly love you. That right there, those kind of parties kept me from finding somebody who really cared about me. And it took me to leave those kind of parties, those kind of people, all that energy alone, just to even better understand me. That's what I did. That's why I've been. That's why I totally vanished from everything and said, you know, I'm going to be a better man, a stronger man. And that's what I recommended that he do. I'd be like, bro, it's time for you to be a stronger, a bigger person. But he still wanted to remain minute. And that's what's happening to him today.
You know, I got to say, Mr. Pierre, you got your moral compass all twisted around. He hasn't done anything morally incorrect. No. Slipping drugs to somebody or watching and witnessing somebody slipping somebody else drugs, that's not morally incorrect. You got the audacity to sit here and say you haven't done anything morally incorrect. But now he feels he's a changed man. I guess he needs a big hug, everybody. We need to give the brother a hug. Hey, I'm down for some person changing what they do, but you can't sit here and say you're changing, you're working at being a better man, but you can't even recognize and witness your own actions that were morally incorrect. How can you say you're a better man and you make a change? I think he needs to do a little bit more work, wouldn't you say? Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about that.
Ever since the hard-to-digest, creepy videos of Diddy with Justin Bieber resurfaced on the internet, many more videos have since started to spring up. The implications of him having potentially groomed the underage star at the time is scaring the internet.
Do whatever the fuck I want to do, whenever, however the fuck I want to do it. You know why? Because I'm the freest nigga in the world.
Looks like the party has started, but it might be one of those parties you want to run late to, or you might not want to go. But you definitely do not want to leave your glass unattended. Let's see what Jaguar Wright has to say about one of the Diddy parties.
Because I wanted to be informed, because people was calling it Tootsie, that's calling it the Tunchi. I didn't know which one it was. So I talked to my drug guy, and my drug guy filled me in. And then it made perfect sense. Tootsie.
Talk to him.
Drugs with Jaguar.
Let's talk.
Drugs education.
101.
So Tootsie is the cocaine, but they take the ketamine and cook it up. And they fold it into the coke. Now, if you don't know what ketamine is what they call on the street Special K. It's a veterinary drug. It's a horse tranquilizer. Now, gay men have been using this for years. See, back in the day, if you went to a gay party or a gay rave, there were certain drugs that you would always find on hand. Viagra, ecstasy, Special K, and cocaine. Now, see, the cocaine keep you up all night, but unfortunately, it gives you limp noodle because of what the blood flow is. So you wants to fuck with a half-hard dick all night. So that's why you have the Viagra, to make sure that the dick involuntarily stays hard while you're numbing your fucking self with the coke. Now, see, the ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer, so that relaxes all your muscles. You could get fucked by 80 fucking ton gorillas. You wouldn't feel a thing. So now, your dick is gonna stay hard. You numbed up and you high. You got the ketamine in you, so you don't feel shit. And then you add the ecstasy to put in the feeling that you've now blocked out. And now you got a party.
Freak off cocktail.
Yeah. So now, the Tootsie, they done skipped. They done skipped all the steps. They condensed it.
Wow.
So you got the cocaine in there, and then you got the ketamine in there, and they say that some of the dealers add the ecstasy in there. Now the Viagra, you still got to take that solo.
Yes, they do have a new designer drug out there. Okay, this pink cocaine, first of all, they're passing it off as being an exclusive drug. You know, it's not an exclusive drug. It's a cheap drug with things that are a lot easier for them to come across these days. So what they're doing is mixing MDMA, which is basically known as Molly or ecstasy, with amphetamine or caffeine. And they're mixing this and putting this together with a strawberry tint of flavoring and of color, and they're mixing it up and they're making a basically cocktail drug for you. But people are thinking it's a high class drug, which is not. And there's really, from what I've understood, there's not too much consistency in it, which there does have a lot of downfalls in it. But it's kind of was designed to come across as what was known as a speedball back in the day, which would have been heroin and cocaine. So it's going to get you going both ways. And the effect that it's going to have you, it's going to keep you up. It's going to give you blurry vision. It's going to slur your speech. It's going to do all that. So it's going to mess up the men, the girls, and with that ketamine in it, like she's saying, it's going to numb all your senses, all your feeling. So they could run a train on a person all night long. Person's not going to feel a damn thing until the next day. You know, so it's not a nice drug, but it's out there, and they're saying it's running around $100 a gram. So anyway, stay away, watch what you're doing, be careful what you're doing, because they can snort it and they can mix it in your drink and you wouldn't even know it. Because if you snort it, it's going to burn. And what they're trying to do these days is find different things to put in it so it doesn't burn as bad. So it's a nasty drug. You can't be too safe in what you're doing out there these days because a lot of people are ODing.
There's a lot of people like, why didn't he say no?
Yeah, that you don't go.
Yes.
You don't go. But why go? They gonna drug you.
Lace, yeah.
You gonna ask for a glass of water, it's gonna be laced with that Tootsie. Let the good times roll. Like if I knew that there's a possibility that I might get raped and drugged if I go to this party, and I go anyway, I just wish they would tell all these little niggas the truth, you know, when they court them with the record deals and the contracts and the chains and the cars and the girls. And I wish they would tell them the truth. Listen to me. All you got to do is let these 8 fuck the dog shit out of you tonight. I get all that for you tomorrow. Because that's what's going to happen. Like, why can't you be up front? You know?
I remember the earliest times as a young man. When I first started going to parties, I remember my mama told me, she goes, boy, if you're going to go to a party and you're out there, don't sit your glass down. Never leave your glass unattended. Now, you mean to tell me a lot of these people weren't aware of somebody sipping on the Mickey? That's been in the media. I mean, everybody knows that, you know. And you can go to one of these parties and get jammed up. You know, somebody going to sip you something. Next you know, you ain't going to know what the hell you doing. Oh, hell no. No, not going to catch me slipping. You know, I'm not the one. But, hey, people put themselves in a position for all those kind of things. And then you got Little Rod out there, got the whole house wired. P. Diddy's out there like J. Edgar Hoover, you know, getting everybody on tape and audio. Now, J. Edgar Hoover, he was a cold man. He had everybody in Hollywood, in the political sense, everywhere. You know, he ran tapes on surveillance on everybody, and that got him power. Now, was Diddy doing the same thing? Who knows? But let's keep this thing rolling and see what Jaguar has to say.
Yeah.
Did they ever say, if come in this room, Jack?
Yeah, I was
let's
told.
get down.
Yeah, I was told.
And you will see some doors open.
I was
for you.
drugged by a rapper that I knew. I won't say his name and I won't say the name of his group. Really doesn't matter. Nobody remembers them anyway anymore. Shame. They were awesome. They put him on me. He had the camera set up in the room. He drugged me. He did everything he was supposed to do. He just felt guilty about it in the morning. So he gave me the tape. And they got dropped 6 months later from their label. And nobody's ever heard of them again. And they was some dope ass motherfuckers.
It's a damn shame that somebody has to be put in this kind of position and learn what they've learned by their own true experience. To have someone that you know that you would trust drug you. The only good thing about that is that the person gave her the tape. And that's something the person would have to live with. I would say that they chose to sell the soul to the devil, but asked for it back. I'm thankful that she did get that tape back. And I'd have to give that person, for that move that they did there, some kind of respect and decency.
Is that commonplace in the industry?
Absolutely.
A cocktail, recording.
Absolutely.
Receipts.
Let me tell you something. Cocaine and champagne, they used to call it the South Beach diet. Like if you ever heard anybody 15 years ago talk about the South Beach diet, cocaine and champagne. When I first started staying at the Mondrian, I'll never forget, I was so glad when they stopped bringing it. But when I would get my breakfast tray, they would have cocaine on my tray. They would have weed on my tray. They would have pills on my tray. You know?
Just whatever you partake in.
No. They didn't know. Okay. They just put everything on there so you could pick something. I always took the weed. Rest of the shit, I would leave on tray and I would push it back out to the hall. 15 times my breakfast was served like that.
Wow.
At my $750 room, you know, a night room at the Mondrian on Sunset Boulevard. They stopped sending it because they realized I always sent it back and all I took was the weed.
To hear these stories is kind of unbelievable. But the way I like to think about it is, if 1% of any of this is true, what kind of way is that to live? You've got people spoon feeding you drugs, trying to get you weak, you know, wrapped up in some addiction to be controlled, you know, or another position to be blackmailed by something incriminating that you've done at a party thinking you're having a good time. And then have to live with the consequences of your own actions, unbeknownst to yourself that you weren't trying to even go that direction, but you got caught up in this cesspool. It's a hell of a thing to have to imagine, and a hell of a way to even have to consider living your life on something that you've worked so hard for, that you just wanted to pursue your love of music. You know, we're going to keep investigating this and stay up on all this that's going on with the P. Diddy and all the scandal. We're going to keep you updated. So please stay tuned. If you like the content, put a like, subscribe, and we hope that you've enjoyed another tale with Ride with Rose. So may you all have a marvelous day. Thank you again. This is Rose from Ride with Rose. I personally would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to our episodes. Please support us by following us on all of our social media accounts: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. For the latest episodes, go to Podcaster, Spotify, Riverside FM, and YouTube. We look forward to sharing many more journeys together with you. And may you all have a marvelous day. #RWR.